Yeah, bro.
All right. Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I have to admit, the reason we're here today is because we had a fault in equipment, a fault in
No, Mike, just blame it on yourself,
a
bro.
fault in my brain. Just numerous amounts of errors. So thank you again for coming back after we did this already and everything got wiped. That was a terrible day for me. But we're here to do it again.
Yeah, we're back.
So it's December now. We started working together in July.
Yeah.
That's almost a year and a half.
Yeah. Since we first ever.
That flew.
Yeah, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, July, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost a year and a half.
Is that when we started working like every day? Yeah, right?
Yeah. I think it was after my birthday party, remember?
Holy shit, bro.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And we've been nonstop since then.
Yeah, nonstop.
Like nonstop without the crazy rewards that people think about. Like we're not making $500,000 a year out here. Like, oh wow, like we worked hard, but
yeah, true. Well,
it's destined to come though.
Yeah. It's a matter of if, or not matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
That's what we always said.
Okay.
So let's
the story begins. You remember where we met?
Yes, bro. Ronnie's birthday party.
Yes, we met at Ronnie's birthday party. We met because of Henry.
Mm-hmm.
You worked in escrow at the time.
Yeah.
I was just starting my own brokerage. I didn't even have my broker's license yet, but I was like on the way to, like, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm taking my test soon. I'm going to do this. Whatever. We kept in touch. You told me a few months down the line, hey, Mike, I'm leaving escrow. I see those real estate agent checks. I'm coming to the real estate industry. Let's talk.
Yep. And I remember specifically coming to your house, remember? After escrow that one day, me, you, your dad.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the master's words. He said, if you want to be a realtor, you just got to go 100%.
Yeah. Hey, truer words have never been spoken.
No. Truer words have never been spoken. A week later, I was like, yeah, I put in my 2 week.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah. And I was like, oh. Okay.
You're like, oh, shit.
I was like, your test is scheduled for 2 months from now, but
you're like, are you sure about that?
I was like, I didn't know if you truly understood how long you're gonna go without making money. When you first start.
Yeah.
I was like, you sure about this? And you were like, no, I'm good, bro. We're gonna fucking kill it. And I was like, fuck yeah.
You're like, bro.
So whatever. We signed some papers. We get to work in July. And that was pretty crazy. Because that was like, I was like, 3-4 years into my real estate journey at that time. And I was like, I told you, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to start a brokerage. Like, these are all the problems I see with brokerages today. This is why they suck. And this is how I'm going to be different. And I guess it worked. But at that point, it was kind of like, oh shit! Now I actually have to do something. Now I actually got to train this guy.
Do the things that I was.
Yeah, now I got to deliver. And so that was really fun. For the first couple weeks, it was like teaching you like the basics. Like CMA, like how to evaluate a property. How sales work. Like very basic stuff. And then,
bro, the memories we've made from the start of it all,
dude,
just door knocking with flyers and just There's like one word. It's called havoc. I feel like that sums it up. Whether it's like getting business cards and them like tearing, remember, from the back.
Oh my God.
Then the first business cards were like not it.
Yeah.
They were like basic business cards. Then we got the black ones that we thought were like
the thick ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we realized we couldn't take them out of our wallet because they were so thick, and they looked like construction workers would like use those. And the ones we have now are like clean.
Yeah.
I think those are like.
I think they're still due for an update already. But
really?
Yeah. But that's just me. I'm just gonna. That's gonna be me every month.
Yeah, you're like that for sure.
Yeah.
But then you always make it even better. I'm like, I don't know how you did it, but fuck, whoa. All right,
Hell
I'm going
yeah.
with that one. But
yeah,
no,
bro.
that's.
I mean, what did we do for the first few weeks?
We went over like the basic stuff.
Yeah. What was there anything that was a surprise to you, like learning the basics? Did you ever think like, oh, like this is more than I bargained for, or maybe like this is more than like I would expect, like not more than you bargained for? Because I know you were like ready to do like, if I told you, hey, being a realtor means you got to strap up your AK-47 and go to war, you'd be like, fuck yeah, where's my gun? But I mean, like, was there anything that you were like, oh damn, like this is like more than I thought, like it goes into being a realtor? Or I mean, I don't know, was there any surprises?
No, actually no.
Well, because you came from like you were in escrow, and you had also done a lot of research.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You were well prepared.
If I wasn't from escrow and I had no background, I'd be like, dude, you're fucking losing me out here. But it's because I was from escrow. I think it was just a way different.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think the thing that was more like caught me off guard was you can work your ass off for months on end, but you might not have the correct skill. You might not have great marketing. You don't know how to nurture. You don't know how to do all of this stuff. No matter if you knock 100,000 doors, you're not closing nothing.
Yeah.
I think that's more what got me, because I was like, 2 + 2 = 4. Yeah. If I knock 1,500,000 doors, I'm going to get someone, right?
Yeah.
But then that's what more hit me. We're like,
wrong.
I think that's what hit me more, where I was like, wait a second. We've done like thousands of doors. Like, we don't have anything going on. Are we doing something right or wrong here? I think that was the main thing. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? There has to be something though that we're doing wrong, but we don't know that we're doing it wrong. I think that was the thing that I was like.
So you had the perception of it's like, I can't fail because I'll just do a unbelievable quantity.
Exactly.
But it's like, I guess your realization was the quantity means nothing if you haven't developed the quality. Exactly.
If you don't have the skill,
but not even quality, like you have to be really good.
You have to be really good.
Basic isn't going to cut it.
People are selling their biggest asset with you. Do you think they want even if you're 19, and you studied incredibly hard, people would trust you if you, sales wise, you were on top of it. People be like, yo, he's a kid, but like he knows what the fuck he's talking about, right? But if you don't have certain things, immediately you're gonna be like, I don't trust you to sell my house.
Yeah.
So I think how I viewed it was like, okay, this realtor, they're doing this amount. I think I could double the output. I think I could door knock double, triple what they're doing, which means I'm probably gonna make double or triple what they make. That's not
doesn't
how it works.
equate.
That's not how it works.
Honestly, it's interesting you say that, because if I think back at it, that's probably my biggest misconception about real estate too.
Was it?
Yeah, because when I got into it, I was 19. I was telling my dad, I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm learning so much shit right now. Like I'm gonna do 6 figures my first year.
Stop.
And he was like,
what is the thing your dad told you?
He was like, really? He's like, I hope you're right, but I seriously doubt it.
But, bro, these need to be quotes. There's another aura quote that's priceless.
Yeah.
What's the one, Mike?
Okay,
that you told me when I was first getting into it.
Yes.
You told me.
Okay. When I wanted to get in, I told my dad, who's, he's the reason I got into real estate. He was a realtor for got like 30 years, 35
40
years.
plus. Come on.
Yeah.
40
yeah.
plus top
At this
1% Centurion Award.
Yeah.
Remax.
Yeah. But
Come
at
on.
this point, he's not doing it. But like he was active for a very long time.
Yeah.
Very successful, very good. And he's the reason I'm in real estate. So when I told my dad, I want to get into real estate, he told me a bunch of stuff, obviously. But the one thing he told me that really stuck out to me that 5 years later I still remember, he said, Mike, being a realtor will really test your emotions. I was like, what? Like, test my emotions.
Did you say that?
This is 19-year-old me.
That's so.
Or 18-year-old me. I was like, test my emotions? What do you mean? He's like, you'll understand. He's like, I can't explain it to you now, but one day you'll understand. But goddamn, he was right. He was right.
He was just.
And then so I told you that too. As we were getting, I was like, you know, my dad told me something that was kind of a little weird when he told me, but I see it now. And yeah, I mean, you can attest to it. How would you say it tests your emotions?
Yeah, it
In every way.
in every way.
Yeah.
I would say you literally have to just be like, someone will tell you, like, all right, this is our dream house. We want to buy it right now. Get the offer ready, everything. And you just have to be like, okay, I'll go back and I'll get that ready. Instead of being like, wait, am I submitting an offer? You can't, because then what happens every time. You're like, we're submitting an offer. This is great. And then you send the DocuSign. They call you up. You know, Matteo, I just don't think it's the right time. My car, it was in neutral, went straight off into the off the bridge the other day. You're like, what?
Like, what are you even talking about right now?
Yeah. So
like you I mean, would you say you've gotten your hopes up and you've been let down for more than once?
You're literally laughing.
More than once?
More than 100 times.
More than Yeah.
Bro, I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this. I have to say, maybe we're cutting this out of the podcast. I'll never forget. We looked at each other. We're like, dude, we were upstairs. We look at each other like, dude, we're the fucking best realtors. And you're like, that's what I'm saying. And I was like, fuck, bro. Like, let's write every lead we have down on that fucking board. Bro, this man right here was sweating because of how many leads he was writing. He was like, Maurice, Kathy, writing all these names. The board was full. And then we were like, well, how much in transaction volume? We were like, going. We're like, 45 million. We were like,
You know what the fucked up thing about that is? Like, I had learned my lesson. Like, don't get your hopes up. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't count your dollars before you've deposited them. You know, I had learned that lesson multiple times before you came along.
But I came.
But you came and you were like, bro, this is sick. Like this, let's write them all down. And we wrote them all down. I was like, you know what? I think this guy's a fucking point. Maybe I've been wrong all these times. Like, maybe this is the optimism I needed. No.
Bro, I brought him all the way back down to almost zero. You're like, oh.
And then Christmas passed, and we start calling everybody up. Oh, no, you know, I broke my leg. I don't have the money anymore. Oh, man, I don't want to buy a new house. And I'm starting to think to myself, you know
You're
what?
like,
This is no one's fault but my own.
we're like, Jimmy, my man. We're like, yo, I know your plan was to sell your house on Wilshire. What's the plan? I don't know. Own a house
Who
on.
the fuck are you?
Yeah. I don't own a house on Wilshire. What are you talking about? You're like, what do you mean? You're like, I'm just renting. I'm gonna die here. You're like, ah, shit. What the fuck? How did we put him as a hot lead?
Oh, man.
Like, we had leads in there. They were like, hot lead. He says he's super broke. All right. I mean, let's call him up.
In the CRM, it says Max has no money whatsoever, is 50 grand in debt, but said he wants to buy. It's like, we're just looking back at this shit we put in like 6 months ago, and we're like, dude.
We're like, who put that one in?
Who put this in here? Was it one of us?
was like, Sandra, property's in her trust. She told me she's going to get transported feet first out of here.
Oh my God.
But she did say that it's also her forever home. Hot lead right there. What are we saying, Mike?
The thing is,
Have the
now that we look back at it, the thing is, yes, half of those leads had no business being on that board. Half of those leads,
95%.
I would say like 30% of those leads were great leads. But at that point in our career, it was too much all at once. Like it was too many leads.
Bro.
To the point where we're just like, fuck it, let's just get some more. Like, fuck the ones we have right now. Like, this looks so good on that board. Yeah. We're like, dude, if this means $1 million, why don't we just get 50 more of these?
Yeah.
And we're like, let's just call, door knock, email. Yeah.
And then if we did get on an appointment, which, give me 1 second. If we did get on an appointment, we were fucking hyped because we were like, see, we knew it. What were we talking about?
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna get something real quick over here somewhere. Like, for example.
Oh shit, that's us on our way to our appointment. We're like, let's go. We're just swimming in appointments right now.
This is exactly what happened. That's how it started. We walked in there. Mike was like, all right, bro, we ready?
Suited and
like,
booted.
dude, we're fucking ready. Sit down. Mike sits there. So how are you going to sell my house?
Oh, dude.
Mike was like,
That was brutal.
He's like, so about the HOA, do you know about the HOA? He's like,
Well, let's get to it.
We'll get to it.
So yeah, so that was, to get back to it, that's probably the greatest realization. I mean, by the size of that conversation, you can tell that that's by far the greatest come to earth moment of getting into real estate. It's like, dude, first of all, the work you have to do is unbelievable. And then the next misconception is, okay, doesn't matter how much work you can do, because we literally door knocked some days 6 hours a day, would come back and cold call for 3 hours. We were
walking like 5 miles.
5 miles a day, at least 20 some thousand steps a day.
Yeah, we were doing crazy numbers walking.
We were doing 6 hours a day minimum prospecting, whether it was door knocking or cold calling.
Yeah. And nothing else.
And you know, the thing is, there's like, I don't know of any other agents who are doing that type of, who are maintaining that kind of work ethic, or even doing the prospecting at that level. So it's like, we had nothing to compare ourselves to, really, you know? It's like, I don't know of any other people who are doing door knocking 6 hours a day.
Dude, there's no one that's doing that. Like,
and so
it's like so rare.
Yeah.
But it's just, we didn't have the skills to close any of these people.
Yeah.
We did all of the work. We just didn't have.
And I think that was really amazing, because, you know, I think every realtor learns that lesson.
Yeah.
At one point or another. We were fortunate enough to have done so much volume in a short amount of time that we literally got 5-10 years of prospecting within 1 year. And so we learned so much.
Yeah, we learned so much. Because what I will say right now is the thing that holds every realtor back from where they want to be financial wise, where they want to be as a realtor, there's one thing that holds them back. What is it?
Themselves.
That's a good one. Themselves. That's for sure. Themselves. But
their work ethic.
That's a huge one. Normally it's themselves. They're either scared to do this, they're not feel comfortable.
Fear of failure.
Fear of rejection, all this stuff. But the thing that's holding them, if they didn't have any of that, the actual thing that's holding them back is the conversations they have. How many conversations are you having every day or every week?
How many at-bats?
How many at-bats you're going to have? The more conversations you have,
right,
the bigger your business is going to get.
Yeah.
Are you wanting to have that big business in 20 years from now? Or are you wanting to have that business in 5 years from now? The only difference between having it in 5 years and 20 years is you having all those conversations you'd have in 20 years in 5 years. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that people aren't understanding. People who are like, oh, it took me this long. That's because the amount of conversations you had, you spanned over 20 years. Yeah. If it was 200,000 conversations, you had them in 20 years. And someone who did it in 5 years, you're going to be like, how? Well, they had those amount of conversations just in 5 years of time. They had that database that you had in 20 years, but in 5 years, because they just got that all out of the way.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with your social media.
Yeah.
The only thing that's holding you from that number and with me is just the number of conversations you have.
Yeah.
That's the only, aside, let's talk about the skill and everything, but it's the conversations that allows you to get to that level. So
yeah.
I think it's a good way to think about it.
It is. Yeah. And we did, I think in like 8 months, 7 months, we each did 9,000 doors each.
Yeah.
In that 8 months.
And lots of calls.
And
they were just
15,000 calls.
Yeah. And they were just one by one.
15,000 calls each, 9,000 doors knocked each.
Yeah.
In like 7-8 months.
Yeah.
And so it's like we had a ton of experience jam-packed into 8 months.
Yeah.
That's why right now, if I think back at those 8 months, I can't tell you anything. It's all just like a blur. Because it was just repetition.
Yeah.
Every single day every single day, we were each talking to probably 30 people a day.
Yeah. And
about real estate.
The thing is, our skills weren't at the level, but they were growing because we were like, damn, every time I say that, the person just seems uninterested, closes the door. That's weird.
Yeah.
We got to try something else.
Yeah.
And
no
like,
matter how many
evolving.
sales videos we could watch, how many like scripts we could read, I mean, there's a certain unspoken understanding, chemistry, that you can only learn, that we only learned by just, failing.
Yeah.
Literally 30 times a day.
Yeah. You can't learn that anywhere else.
Yeah. So so to get back to it, we started working in July and we went ham.
Crazy.
Doors, calls.
Yeah.
45 million in the pipeline.
45 million transaction volume.
Yeah.
Cooked up.
So I think looking back now, the thing we didn't realize is, yes, it's how many conversations you can have, but the quality of those conversations matters.
Quality.
It means nothing if you have 1,000 pennies,
Yeah. And we started to realize that you have to follow up with these people. Like, for example,
follow up, but also like,
well, it's like Stefan and Kate. Like, we're not going to say names, but I just did. But like Stefan and Kate.
Yeah.
Like, he never answered his phone, but every 3 weeks I called the guy, and eventually he did. I talked to him, and he was like, you know what? Come by. And we did, and we had a great presentation.
Yeah.
We could have gotten that.
Yeah.
Like, we went on appointments.
Yeah.
We had this stuff happening. So,
okay, I got a good question for you.
Tell me.
In a concise answer, how do you think failing all those times, the 9,000 doors, the 15,000 cold calls in those 8 months, how do you think all the failure you experienced in that time set you up to make you as good as you are today?
That's a great question.
If you had to nail it down to one thing.
You don't deserve anything.
Whoa. What do you mean?
You don't deserve anything. You can't walk on the street and say, I deserve it. I worked harder than everyone.
Oh. Just because you put the effort in doesn't mean you should get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't deserve it. You know what I mean?
You can't just say, oh, I did this, therefore I should have that.
Yeah. Like,
and that's how it would play in our heads before. It's like
we deserve
yeah.
to do 10 million. We deserve doing 20 million. We're doing things no one's doing.
Yeah.
You don't deserve anything. Your skills aren't at the level. You're going out there and putting in hard work. You're just learning, but that's what you're getting from it. But who told you deserve that?
Interesting.
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I think it's like super straightforward. And blunt.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's the reality.
It's truth. Yeah. It doesn't correlate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good predictor. But you like you said, you can't say, oh, because I did this, I should have this.
Yeah.
No, you can't just be spinning your wheels all day.
Yeah, because that's what people.
Yeah,
that's what people
emotion.
are. I worked so hard though. I deserve this. I've door knocked so many people. I called so many people. Like, I deserve that. Why did that person get that? Because it's not fair. You don't deserve anything. And what? You walk that many. Good job. You know, I think that was the thing. You just look at yourself. You're like, am I the best? No. Am I the best salesperson? No. Am I the best realtor? Do I know the most about real estate? No. Do I know most about investing? No. So then you start talking like that. You're like, okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Put me in a room with a realtor who's been doing it 15 years, who's like top. Am I the best? No, I'm not. And then you realize, like, I need to change, and I don't deserve whatever I think I deserve.
Some real shit.
Yeah,
It's true though.
yeah, it is.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. We experienced a lot of yeah, this goes back to testing your emotions again.
Yeah.
I mean, how does it affect you, getting told at least one, go fuck yourself a day?
Yeah.
Whether you're in person or on the call, you're going to get one, go fuck yourself a day.
Yeah.
How does that affect you as a person, outside of work?
I mean, it doesn't. Honestly, for myself, it doesn't affect me because I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's just what it is. I mean, someone is just rude and they're mad at me, and like I can understand. I'm giving them a call, so like that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, it doesn't like change who I am. Like, wow, someone said that to me. It's like, okay. I feel like once you start doing it a while, you're just like, okay, I get that every day, whatever.
Yeah.
I think more the emotion thing is when everything looks great and then it all goes to shit in real estate.
Getting your hopes up.
Yeah, like, oh, I have this amount of listings. I have this, and then boom, 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 everything's gone. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
Literally, I was planning like that this was going good. I was feeling great, and boom.
Yeah.
Like when you the second you guarantee in your mind, it's taken.
Yeah.
The second you're gonna guarantee it, when you're like, you know what, it's practically guaranteed.
Yeah.
I got this and that. These are great listings. It's guaranteed. And then boom, an unforeseen thing happens. You're like,
I think real estate fucks you up because I mean, like you said, there's so many times where like you get your hopes up, and I mean, you can't help but get your hopes up when you see so many things moving in motion.
mm-hmm.
And I've experienced it from every point of the transaction, of where it's at the beginning, the middle, the end, where it all goes to shit.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh. And I think that kind of like, unfortunately, has translated into my life a little bit, like in certain times or like certain whatever, I'll try not to get my hopes up because I'm like, well, I mean, I've seen it all go to shit before.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's like maybe something common among realtors. It's like, we've all learned the lesson of, okay, you don't get your hopes up until the deal is done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's like not uncommon at all for shit to go sideways in real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
There's just so many moving parts to it all.
Yeah.
It's not just getting a listing, just getting accepted. There's so many things within the escrow and this and that, and
So many variables.
so many variables. So
I mean,
yeah,
there's so
you're
many
right.
like, and the thing is also like you have a buyer and a seller, and these are just two people who are like, going about their life, and like selling or buying a house is just like something that they have to do at this moment.
Yeah.
And it's like very common where like shit happens in their life. Someone dies, their finances get messed up, whatever, and it's like
Done. Just changed.
and
Yep.
it's like hours, days of work, effort out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if your hopes are up and you're like, oh, I'm about to make a juicy check.
Yeah.
I'm about to make a sale. I'm about to push my stats. I'm about to do all this.
Yep.
And then
Done. Just taken.
Psych.
Taken. That's why you just have to just roll with the punches and be like, this is just what it is.
yeah.
And not get your hopes up
Yeah.
too high, and just be like, all I can do is work hard, increase my level of skill with everything, and have the most amount of conversations with people. Because the more output you do, or the more input you put into your business, you'll have more output. And it's like money is like a lagging indicator of the amount you put in.
It's a byproduct.
It's a byproduct, and it doesn't just come in real estate right away. So it comes months later, years later. The work you're doing today for months later, years later. But months later, years later, you will start reaping what you sow. You know? And that's what I think. I think that's more of like what real estate, what the real estate is, you know?
Yeah.
But you just, it's like, well, if this one doesn't go through, I've made so many calls that there's another one, you know?
Yeah.
I think that when you're at that point, then it's a lot different than being at a point where like, this is my only one.
Yeah.
In 6 months, I gotta make this work.
Yeah.
You know?
So can we say it's official? Yes. Being a realtor will test your emotions.
Yes, it's official.
100%.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
I mean, with respect to crossover right there, bro.
That's an inside one. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. All right. So now let's get into a little more, you know, juicy topics of our last year and a half in review.
Tell me. Bro, and then I gotta head out in like 10 minutes. Bro.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up.
All right. Talk to me.
What would you say is the worst thing that's happened to us? Door knocking. What would you say is the worst thing that's happened to us while door knocking?
The worst thing that's happened while door knocking?
I mean, mine's pretty like immediate answer to
It's
that.
the dog.
Yeah, it's the dog.
Yeah, it has to be that. I was trying to think of one though where like afterwards we were like, do we just not want to do this any longer? But
Well,
no,
that was it for me.
It was that one.
After that happened, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Should we tell the story?
Yeah, tell it. You know what's really, really quick? What's crazy is I think to myself, I'm like, you know, who the fuck came up with this about door knocking? Like, who one day was like, I want to sell real estate. I'm just going to walk the fucking neighborhood and just knock on everyone's door.
And be like, hey, you want to sell?
Yeah.
Just interrupt people
Like,
in the middle
it's
of their
looked at as
day.
normal because, like, that's the thing
In the
to
industry,
do.
it's normal.
But it's like, if no one did that, imagine you being the first, like, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm just going to start walking on these streets.
Yeah.
Dressed up and start knocking on people's doors.
They'd be like, dude, you're going to end up in prison.
Yeah, they're like, that's your job? Your fucking career? Go get a life.
Yeah. Okay,
tell me.
so where were we?
Oh, we were at the Rancho.
We were in Glendale,
Yeah, we were in Glendale.
knocking on doors. And there's this one property, or I guess a lot of them, where there's a fence around the perimeter of the property. So you have to enter the fence to walk up to the front door. And you went up to the front door, right?
Yeah, bro.
And I was following behind you. And you knock on the door, and we're sitting there waiting. And as soon as you ring the doorbell, about 5 seconds go by, and I'm standing there, and I'm looking at the door. I'm like, kind of like, you know, trying to like hold it together. We're like, our feet are hurting, back's aching, whatever. I'm just standing there, and then out of nowhere, off to the side, I hear, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I look over, and just 5 feet from us, unchained, is a pit bull ready to take my fucking head off. And so I think the only logical response at that point is what I did, is to just
Leave your leave your other colleague.
well, yeah, he needs to take someone's head off. I don't want it to be mine.
The most logical thing, bro. What the hell?
No, the logical thing to do was
things leave my friend in there.
no. I was like, oh. and you look back at me and you're like, what? And I'm like, oh. And I just start slowly walking back. I was like, I may have like murmured under my breath. I'm like, come.
Bro, you didn't say anything.
Like I was
You just
frozen.
went like this. Oh.
Yeah.
And you started walking back slow, and I was just like, dude, what is it?
Dude,
And
this
you're
dog is like looking at me, foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
like staring at you.
And
But
I'm
I
just-
couldn't see the dog where I was because I was on top of the stairs, and the stairs, like here,
Yeah, there was a
going
hedge in
down.
the way.
There's a big hedge. The dog was right next to the hedge. So I'm like, dude, what's going on? And you were just like going back slowly, and I'm like, what the hell? I look over, see this big ass pit bull. I look at the pit bull. I'll never forget this. Mike's in the corner of my eye, slowly walking back to the fence. The fence is probably like 15 feet away or something. I look at the pit bull, and the pit bull's literally just standing there, just like, don't fuck with me. Looking at Mike, just like, better not fucking walk to the door. Right? And Mike's like, oh. Little did that pit bull know I was at the door already. And he literally looks and he goes, looks at me, just makes eye contact, and he goes, and
it was over.
It was done. He just looks at me, and the second he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I was like, oh shit. And he just starts fucking barking and taking off.
He just went at us.
Yeah.
Or he went at one of us.
Yeah, he just went.
And you were like, run, bro. And you just run and pushed me out of the gate. I flew out of the gate. You run behind me, slammed the gate behind us. And it like, you slammed it so hard it didn't latch. It hit, went back and smacked the dog in the face. And then it like got trapped in the gate. And then you went and closed it. No. And yeah, that was the moment I was like, dude, all right. I don't know what the fuck we're doing out here. Like maybe we shouldn't be knocking on random people's doors. Maybe we shouldn't be entering gates.
Yeah,
you know? Maybe we should call it at the gate.
I thought the same thing. Once we saw the gates, I was like, ever since then we were traumatized. When we saw the gates, we were like, bro, make sure there's no dog in there right now before we start walking in there.
Okay, let me ask you this. How many times have you been door knocking and you've thought to yourself, you know, there's a really decent chance someone can just pull up a gun on me right now?
Every time. Every door I went up to. Every single door I went up to. I'm 100%. I'd knock and I was
like if someone was just crazy,
yeah,
which
like,
clearly we know that there's a ton of them.
I literally was like, that's my last breath, maybe.
How many crazy people have you encountered door knocking?
Dude, we've encountered a lot. Do you remember this one? Get the fuck out of my house! I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, how can I not remember that?
What? I look across the street. Mike's across the street knocking at another door, and he's literally like looking at me from the house. He's like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just a realtor. I was here. He's like, get off of my lawn! I was like, okay, I'm walking away. And then when I was walking away, I was like, I might have just gotten shot, and I don't know.
Yeah, because like at that point, it's like if that person, like, it's not crazy to assume someone who's gonna scream bloody murder at you.
Yeah.
Like, who's to say they're not gonna also shoot you?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like some people are just waiting for that to happen.
Yeah. Some
like,
people are like, you know, I'm just like a fucked up person.
Yeah. I'm waiting for someone.
I'm waiting for someone to test
trespass.
Yeah.
My grass.
Yeah.
So I can shoot them.
Yeah.
And it's just us. Like, hey, I'm Matteo and this is Mike. They're like, get out of here. Yeah, we had some crazy ones.
How many people do you think have told you to fuck off?
Dude, a lot of people.
Okay, how many people have screamed at you? Hundreds. At the door.
At the door.
Maybe let's call it on the phone as well.
Probably between 10 and 20.
At the door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Like scream.
5 and 15. 5 and 15.
Yeah.
Screamed. But probably like closer to 5 when I'm thinking about like really screaming.
Yeah. Well, there was that one time that lady...
Bro.
There was that one time that lady screamed at us like we just killed their entire family.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
The rancho?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane.
I think that was the same day as the pit bull.
It was. It was the exact
right?
same day. That's when we looked at each other and we're like, bro.
Is this real estate
we're
shit
going
what
to
we want to
war
do?
right now. We're literally going to war.
Going out.
All sweaty, bro.
Feet hurt.
Our feet hurting. We had our pieces of paper that were like sweaty because you're holding them all day. Like the paper just ripping with our pen. That we did nothing with those papers.
Sunscreen's getting in your eyes.
O X X X O star. Sunscreen's getting in your eyes. You're walking. Your hair's all fucked up. Later on, you're just like, what am I gonna see next at this point?
Yeah.
And then we took Edge meat.
Oh my god.
We took Edge. Door knocking.
That was just one of the funniest days of my life.
That. For me too. Like we were all just dying.
And you know why it was so great also? Because like it also like proved to us the belief that we had, like, you know, this shit that we do is not easy.
Yeah. That's the day we looked at each other like, dude, we're actually we're not too bad at this.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, we're pretty fucking good.
Pretty good. And like,
you know, like Edge is a very smart guy.
Yeah.
And like putting someone like in that environment is like, it's like super odd.
Yeah. It
and
took
like,
us back to when we started. We were like, We know exactly how you feel. It feels really weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But bro, when that ring started coming back,
Oh man. Okay, so one time, let's tell the story.
say this one.
So one time, me and Matteo were door knocking, and one of my friends was thinking about trying real estate and decided to come door knocking with us. And so we kind of threw him in the deep end with no life vest,
To say the least.
We were kind of just like, all right, let's
Here's
go up
your
to
script.
Here's your script. Repeat it 5 times. Cool. All right, let's hit the door.
Listen to us a few times and then you'll have to hit it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, oh, okay.
And then by like the 5th door, we were like, I was like, all right, you're gonna go up. And he goes up and like he does it, whatever.
Let's hear how he does it. You got
Hello, my name is Edmund. I would like to see if you wanted to think about selling your house.
Stop. Bro. It was so I mean,
it was so precious.
that is such a perfect word. Bro, you nailed that shit on the head. Bro, you nailed that. I wasn't even gonna say like it wasn't that it was not
someone
good.
with no sales experience at all.
It was precious.
Yeah.
We were standing there like, bro, like, do you remember when we were like starting, like we were shitting our pants.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, think about like just let's bring it back for one sec. I want you to relive the moment you went up to your first door.
Yeah.
Like how nerve-wracking is that?
So I was like, don't open.
Yeah.
Just don't open the door.
Yeah, yeah. Part of you was like, I want to get out of here without talking to anyone.
Yeah. But
because imagine you're like, you've got your objective. You're like, I'm gonna go talk to I'm a realtor. That's all you know.
Yeah.
I'm a realtor and I'm at your door.
What are they going to tell me while I'm there?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like, you're not to the experience level where they're like, actually, I want to do this. And you're like, oh, great.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time we got
But
a
at interest
yes?
rates.
Do you remember the first time we got a yes at the door?
Yeah.
We were so used to hearing fuck off, get out of here, not interested. The first time we were like, yeah, I wanted to see if you had ever thought about selling your house. And the lady was like, yeah, I actually do want to sell my house. We were both like,
where do we go from here?
We were like,
You literally went like, and I was like,
great.
What's the process? Let's start with our first step. Mike, what is the first step? You're like, shit, I don't even know. I'm like,
she was like, yeah, I actually do want to sell my house. And we were just like, sorry, that never happens. Give us a second to think about what we do next.
We literally stopped.
We had like every line planned out for what we say
Yeah.
with every objection. We had never thought about what to say when someone says yes.
That was the first time we're like, dude, so what do we do when someone says yes? Because we never got it.
Yeah.
And we literally stood there and we were like,
Literally for like
Where-
2-3 seconds, we were like,
where are you going to move to?
like, great. Yeah. What's next?
Like, yeah, what happens when you sell? Where do you go? She's like, all the way to a different country, far from here. And we're like,
Dude, that
I
was
wish we could
hilarious.
help you. But honestly, I don't know how I can help you with that.
Dude, that was so funny. I mean, we're out there for like days, weeks, hours, like just grinding our ass off. And we hadn't even like prepared for the moment we get that yes.
Yeah. And then we did have an appointment with the person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for one of them, we didn't.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, we were just like,
All right, let's
Yeah,
wrap
we
it
were-
up in 5 minutes.
yeah, let's do it.
Let's get out of here. Let's rapid fire a couple questions.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Year and a half in review.
Let's hear it.
We've learned a lot.
We've learned a lot.
We've become so much better at what we do.
Way better.
We're at the point where we can say, you know, we're both in our
hell?
that was the cap or something.
No, it was my microphone, bro.
Oh, what the hell? Year and a half in review, bro. It's been a pretty insane ride.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of ups, lots of downs, decent amount of success.
Yeah. I would say
Pretty good amount of success.
good amount of success for how young we are and everything, and just
Yeah.
like really starting from like bottom like that.
Yeah.
We were just like,
yeah.
even though you came from real estate, like, bro, it was just different.
We packed so much
we were
experience
just-
into 1 year.
yeah,
It's unbelievable. Lot of getting punched in the face.
a lot of it.
Lot. Like we're numb.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It doesn't mean anything now.
What? Okay, give me a couple highlights. Some negative highlights first. Top 3. Top 3 negative.
Top 3 negative or top 3 positive?
Start with negative. Yeah. What are the top 3?
Dude, honestly, I would not see any negative.
Okay, not negative, but like top 3 like
shitty moments, shitty stuff. Like
shitty moments. Yeah.
Realizing it doesn't go to your plan.
Mm.
Like I said, you don't deserve what you're saying you deserve. Because who are you?
Yeah.
In regards to what you're going to get out of this. And realizing how much there is to be learned and how long it takes to master and create experience through every one of those skills. How long it takes.
Yeah.
I think
a lifetime.
I think those were the ones where I was like, those were not, it wasn't bad. It was just like realization with it all.
Yeah.
A realization.
Okay.
What are your 3?
Well, I mean, obviously I've been at this longer than you. So my like realizations in the recent years or the recent year and a half really focus on who I want to work with. Like really put my attention towards my ideal client rather than just like calling everyone, knocking everyone. You know?
Yeah.
Work with people I want to work with.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm gonna put my attention and put my efforts towards leads that a lot of them don't work out, some of them do, might as well put all that attention towards making sure at least all of those attempts are towards people that I generally would like to work with.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Now give me...
Is that a good one? Or is
that's more like my realization.
Realization one.
All right, now give me a highlight. Last year and a half, we've done so much shit. Last year and a half, we've knocked 9,000 doors each, 20,000 calls each. Well, more calls for you, way more calls for you, but we've done a ton.
Yeah.
Give me the highlight. I have a guess what your first highlight would be, or your biggest highlight would be.
Tell me.
Closing your first deal.
No.
No? Okay. What would it be?
It's bigger than that.
What would it be?
Doing this with you. That's what the highlight would be.
That's a banger.
That highlights it all.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's true for me too.
Yeah.
Because I know I would not have done that ridiculous amount of output if it weren't for you.
Yeah.
And so you pushed me to be fucking great, and I know I did the same for you.
Yeah. 100%.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's the number one.
There's going to war. There's nothing like going to war with your fucking with one of your dogs.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Just trying to get it
being
together.
In the trenches together.
Yeah.
It makes it all funny, you know, like how many times did we fucking we would get punched in the face, figuratively. We'd get screamed at, threatened, you know, our hopes would be high, we'd be let down, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of it, we'd look at each other and be like, dude, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing.
And it's like, at least you get to experience, it makes those shitty times, it takes it from a shitty experience to a funny ass memory that we get to sit back and laugh at now.
Yeah. That's
a good point.
Part. That's the biggest part.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no first deal, nothing like that.
I would say the same.
Yeah. We had memories I would never take back. They were hilarious memories. Like we were dying on the street because we were laughing so much.
Yeah.
We were knocking, like, to me, like, this is for me. There's a difference, like, having a friend and, like, going and grabbing some food, right? Yeah, that's fun, right? But there's a difference, like, just knocking random doors of a city with your friend. Like, it's just, like, crazy. Like,
it's insane.
It's an adventure.
It is.
That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like
every day was an adventure.
Every day we were going on adventure. On an adventure.
Yeah.
Every single day we were like, where are we going today? What, like, who are we door knocking?
We don't know if we're gonna fail, if we're gonna succeed,
exactly,
if we're gonna be in danger. if it's gonna suck. If we're
Exactly.
gonna have fun.
That's why.
Yeah.
So
You couldn't have said it better.
yeah, that was the thing, for sure.
Hell yeah.
And definitely, I will say another big part was, my opinion, there's no one I would rather have done it with.
Oh, 100%.
There's no one I would rather have done it with.
There's no one who would have done it with me.
No, yeah, I would say exactly the same. I don't know anyone who would have done that crazy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't think you were gonna do that crazy shit either, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, well, he did teach me the sales technique. Let me use it on him to door knock 6 hours tomorrow.
And I was like, dude, you know what? This guy is like, he's just fucking insane. I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't believe many times when you're like, all right, bro. And I was like, dude, are you sure? Like, now you're questioning myself. But yeah, there's no one I would have rather done it with. Also, like, I tell you this all the time. You and your dad are just such genuine people.
You too, bro.
Such genuine.
And that's why it works.
Yeah, it works for
You
sure.
know?
I'll never forget. We were on the doors, and I was like, should we challenge each other for who can get more emails? Do you remember? And then I was like, all right, let's do it. We were doing that, right? And what I was saying to them is, I was like, I got to create something on the spot. So I was like, with my clients, like once a year, like I'm going to do like some sort of like get together, whether it's a movie night, free food, free drinks, bring friends, family, bring your whole entire family. Anyone you want, fly them out. I'll fly them out. I'll pay the ticket. What was like, they were like, whoa, okay. And I was like, yeah, like, all I need your email. I was like, so I'll just forward it to your email, the information. They were like, sure, right? Mike was doing that for like 2 doors. And then at the end of the street, I'm like, how many emails you got? And you're like 1. I was like, dude, what do you mean 1? He was like, how many did you get? I was like, 5. And you're like, yeah, but I stopped like 3 doors in. I was like, why? And you're like, because, bro, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to create a party and stuff. Like, I'm not going to have a get together and pay for free food, free drinks for these people. I feel bad saying that. And I was like, do you remember my response? Well, I'm going to. I was like, bro, whether it's in 6 months or 6 years, I'm going to do it eventually. And you're like...
I was like, I don't feel right about that. I was like, I know myself. I'm not doing that event.
Yeah, you were like, then you switched up to, you're like, hey, down the street, your neighbor, I'm sending them analysis every other week of their life. And they were like, nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro.
Crazy.
That's how we end the pod.
Banger 1.5 years. Here's to another 1.5 years more.
Yep. Let's do it,
With
bro.
triple the success.
Yep. Triple.
Hell yeah. Let's hope this one fucking works.